What is up with it? Today we are going to be watching some of my Treasure Cup run. This is going to be round 2. This is going to be my first loss. I'm going to be watching over and posting all 3 of my losses on the channel just because I'm going to watch them over anyways, so might as well post them on the channel. That way we can see some of the things that maybe even I can improve on. This is going to be versus Enel. I know I mulliganed. I believe he kept. Um, Gonna go ahead and start with the Perona. And just sorting out. I don't remember too much about this game. I know he hits some triggers. I know I see plenty of Jinbeis. I know I never find Pudding, if I remember correctly. Um, he's going to go ahead and play Shirahoshi. Um, if you're wondering about the list, I was basically playing the exact same list as Jonas's winning list from the same event. 2 Jozu, 2 Gravity Blades, 4 Teach, 11 2Ks, 3 Geckos. I didn't work with Jonas, we just kind of came to the same conclusion. He's going to go ahead and Gadatsu my Weevil. Seems pretty normal, pretty standard. Going to go ahead and play my second Jinbei into a Boa this time. Pretty strong start. Pretty strong start for me. Definitely, no doubt about that. I'll go ahead and swing 7 in leader effect. Going ahead and playing a Gecko Moira just to grab back my Weevil. They will be starving you a lot in this matchup, so a lot of the times you're gonna want to be able to just have plenty of +1s, just to make sure you don't run out of gas. Pretty strong start for me, no doubt about that. Our opponent is now on 7 Dawn. And they're just going to go ahead and swing 6 at 5. And do I elect to save it? I think at this point in my hand, I have like a couple Weevils. I'm not exactly sure what I had in my hand, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I have at least 2 Weevils in my hand, though. And I think my thought process for not saving it was I felt like I wasn't going to be able to save it either way. Maybe I should have, honestly, in hindsight. I could have maybe 2K'd, but and then but yeah, he plays down this second Shirahoshi, and that's pretty annoying for me. But I do kind of think I had a lot of bricks in hand, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's a Perona at the bottom of those 3. I got to be a little bit more careful about not showing my opponent's information right there. I think I just swing 9 at the Gadatsu. And I think he just blocks here. I'm pretty okay with that. He has 7 cards in hand, it looks like, based on the amount of that I'm showing on the dice. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and block. I'll go ahead and use my law effect. So now if he wants to play a Yamato on 9, he's not gonna get a heal. He will get the pop, of course, but he at least won't get the heal. And we're still at 5 life. Not like the greatest position for us unless we have a Kaido, but Kaido's not in the list, so I think we would enjoy having a Jozu. I know I didn't find any throughout this game. If you played Mihawk, Mihawk would also be good going on this Tendon turn, just to get a sticky body while removing the Gadatsu. But for sure, the card we would most want on this next turn, almost regardless of what our opponent does, would be the Kaido. Yep, gonna go ahead and play that Yamato as we expected, and I think he'll just pass. He's just really committed to the Starve. We're on 10 Dawn now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and swing 7 at life, try and put him down to 1. Maybe this is a mistake, honestly. But I feel like I can't just leave him at 2 forever. I need to force him to at least have some healers. He does hit a trigger, which is pretty nice for him. It's not the end of the world for us, but it definitely doesn't feel great either. Yep, and here we see the third Jinbei because I'm clean with it into the Weevil. And then I think I just play a second Weevil. No, a Law. Okay. Because I want to bounce this Shirahoshi. Because I don't want him to be able to heal and have a blocker at the same time. So I'm kind of going to make him choose here. So yeah, actually with this Law, we're actually in a pretty decent position, I would say. So yeah, I don't think that that trigger ended up actually mattering because we would have had to play over our Perona anyways, and we would have ended with 4 bodies regardless. I guess we would still get to have a Jinbei in our hand just to reload for next turn would be the one difference. Um, yep, so our opponent just still staying at 7 cards in hand, still just um, starving us, I believe. Yep. Um, we're gonna Perona. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for here, to be honest with you. Um, I think it would be nice to be able to, um, if we could find a Law and a Law could like, we could swing with a couple things on our board, like a Jinbei and a Weevil, and then we can Law bounce them and then replay them. I think that would be pretty good for us. Um, this is a weird turn. What do you guys think we're supposed to be looking for this turn? I kind of feel like I definitely want to be getting in a couple swings. I know there's no pudding. I feel like I would definitely want to be looking to get in a few swings, and then replay my board active, I think is what I would be looking for. But we'll see how this goes. Oh, flashing the Sengoku again. I got to be more careful. I got to be more careful. I didn't realize that I'd be giving away information like that. Good, go ahead and play Gecko. Gecko will add back the Jinbei so that way we can reload. Hits another trigger. Rygo trigger. Gonna go ahead and KO our Weevil, I would imagine. Yep. And our opponent should have 7 cards still in hand, I believe. He tried his hardest to show us what's in his hand, but I can't quite see what it is. If I remember correctly, this guy was a really, really nice guy. I think we chit-chatted for a bit. I don't agree with his decision to bring Enel to the tournament, but really depends on what your goals are, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and swing 6 here. I have what? I have 4 Dawn left. I don't remember exactly what I'm looking for here. Gonna go ahead and go 6 again. He's, of course, just gonna give us a 2K here. Maybe I could have gone 5 first, and then if he takes, then I can go 7. And if he doesn't take, I can stop. I think that's probably a small improvement. I think that would have probably been a bit better. I think do I just play law and pick up my own board? What could I have done differently this turn? I feel like this turn could have been better for sure. For sure this turn could have been better. Let's just rewind to the start, honestly. So if we know we have the law, right? So we start here. We have 10 Dawn. Okay, so we know we have the law in our hand. We don't have to play this Perona. We can go like... If we play law and we bounce our 2 own things, and then we can replay them. So we can honestly go like... Start with a 6, see how our opponent reacts. 6, 6, go 3 6s. Play law, bounce these 2. I mean, we stop depending on like what happens with his life, obviously. But I think maybe it would have been a little bit better to go some 6s. And then play law, pick up our board, and then have 5 standing. Maybe is a little bit better of a turn. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if that would have been better. We would have gotten to end our turn with 5 standing, which would be pretty good. Okay, but back to where we ended. We do this, and then we play law, we pick up 2 of our own pieces. Now we only have 1 rested, 2 active. We have a Jinbei in hand, so we'll be able to go wide next turn. Okay, so now our opponent is in the think tank. Or I was thinking about if I should swing the Jinbei, is what was happening there. Now our opponent's in the think tank. I elected to not swing the Jinbei there because I don't think taking the extra card out of his hand really matters. Our opponent's still just kind of floating at 7 cards. He's going to go ahead and go 5 at the law, and I believe I do counter this because we don't want to take too many hits to life this turn. We're okay taking a couple, but not infinite. Yep. And he's going to Gadatsu, and we will humbly accept the Gadatsu. And then does he plays a Shirahoshi? And then he'll just pass with 3 Dawn up, I guess. I mean, I think it's pretty reasonable for him to put me down to 4 or even 3 here, to be honest. But for whatever reason, he's decided not to do that. I don't think I love that idea. I think, you know, eventually you should probably be pressuring your Dofi opponent. Go Jinbei Boa here. So if I had done the turn that I was thinking of last turn, and my opponent didn't have a way to heal, I think I would have been in a really good spot here. So maybe I kind of threw there. And I think this Boa actually found a Jinbei, if I remember correctly. I remember being pretty surprised that he took this. And he's just confirming, reading the card real quick, exactly how to sequence it. He'll just end up pitching 2 cards from hand and healing 2, which was definitely a bit unfortunate here. Because if he doesn't hit this trigger here, I either take 2 cards out of his hand, or I take the blocker, or I put him to 0, all of which would be, you know, great things for me. But unfortunately, I'm just going to put him down to 1, which is not ideal, of course. We'll go ahead and play Gecko. Gecko, I think we'll go ahead and grab a Boa. Yep. Go ahead and swing 7. He, I imagine, will take comfortable going down to 1. And then I will go ahead and commit to the idea that I have to kill my opponent next turn. I think his board is getting so big that I kind of have to commit to that idea. He only has 4 cards in hand. We know at least last turn he didn't have a heal. So we'll go ahead and commit to that idea, and we'll just go ahead and play over our own board with the 4th Jinbei. Very lucky for me this game, for sure. Our opponent definitely having some luck on his side too, right? He's hit a couple triggers. Both sides seeing a little bit of that old luck. But I think ultimately this game was maybe lost on that one turn. Like I got to this spot where I'm 5 standing, maybe 2 turns late. Funny enough, if I have Houndblaze in my hand at this point, I think I just auto win the game. Because like the most he can do is remove 1 character. Like the best thing he could do is probably like play a Yamato, KO a Boa. But if I have Houndblaze, I get to bottom deck the blocker, and I have 5 swings into his 4 card hand, 2 life. It feels like we get there a good percentage of the time. We're also looking for a Gravity Blade trigger here. I think countering there was probably wrong. We're probably just supposed to take every hit we can here and look for this Gravity Blade trigger. I think the reason why I countered that 1 hit was because I didn't know for sure that I'd be able to counter out of a 10. And if I just take, and then he plays ace and then swings at life, that could be bad for me. So I think I just countered that 1 hit just to make sure. Also, no Gravity Blade trigger, Sach. Could have been really huge for me. He's just going to go ahead and put us to 0. He has 4 cards in hand. We get 6 swings here. They all have to go through. We can just go 5/7s, which is what I end up doing. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe we're supposed to swing 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Maybe 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 is better. I don't know. Enel is weird, so I don't actually know which one's better. I kind of feel like maybe 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8 is better, to be completely honest. Um, but I might be wrong. So he has 4 cards in hand. If I go 6, 6, and he counters both, I have 4 swings, so I lose. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy because it's like if you really think about it, I have 6 swings and I have to get through um 4 life, right? Like he has the blocker and 3 life. So I have to get through 4 life. So even though I have 6 swings, I can only allow him to counter out of 2 of them. All right, I think surely when he does this, maybe I'm supposed to swing 6. Um I'm gonna need like a Giga Genius to explain to me like how we should be doing the swings on this last turn. Cause it's just so weird. It's just so completely different than like when you're playing versus a normal leader in a normal situation. Um but I feel like I mean the thing is if we swing 6 and he counters, we lose. It's just so hard because he has this Shirahoshi on the board, you know? Like I think him hitting that 0 cost last turn and making it so I can't put him down to 0 or take the blocker or take 2 cards out of his hand, I think that made like a really huge difference in this game. But I don't know, it's hard to say if I could have won if I played that 1 turn differently. I lean towards no, but I don't know, it's really hard to say. Opponent thinks on if he wants to trigger and chooses not to. He tells me after the game that it was a Frankie, and he decides that just having it in his hand is better than triggering it, which I agree with. I go 7, and at this point he can kind of math out that I'm just going 7s the whole way. So there's no reason to not take. You just take the next 2 and then you're fine. I mean, you block before you go to 0 for sure, but other than that, it doesn't matter. Opponent in the think tank, you always take this for sure, regardless of your hand. There's no reason to not take this. You could hit a lucky trigger. You could, yeah, he blocks, which I disagree with, but it's fine. Like if I had a way to remove that, I would have already done it. But really, if he takes or blocks first, I don't think it makes a huge difference, so it's fine. This is always the last turn of the game, either way. Yeah, and he hits a beige trigger. I don't think this beige trigger actually matters. To be completely honest with you, he ends up showing me his hand afterwards, and he like you can tell based on the fact that he discarded a 2K here. He actually just had all 2Ks in hand. Um, so the beige trigger like didn't actually matter. I think really the only trigger that he hit reviewing it that like super mattered, like the Rocket Luffy, I think um denied me a little bit, but not it wasn't that impactful. I think it was that 0 cost that really mattered. I think really the only thing I could have done differently is maybe um this 1 turn wherever it is. Was it this turn? Yeah, it was this turn right here. If I go a few 6s and then I play lawn, I bounce my board and I end up with 5 standing. I don't know. Will someone who's like really good at the game tell me what they think about this turn? That would be nice. I appreciate you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.